Okay. Take 4 or something, because I keep clicking the wrong buttons. But I'm not really sure how to start this commentary, unfortunately. But I'm just going to start at like the beginning. I have consumed a lot of Dragon Ball. And I'm going to start with my first memory, which was watching early Cartoon Network with my buddy Scott. And I remember Goku on the screen, and it just said TVY7. And I had made fun of him because he was 6. I told him he wasn't old enough to watch the show, and he flipped me off. So my second memory of Dragon Ball was actually at his 7th birthday, and our neighbor Sam gave us gave us all a birthday present, which was a Lord Slug. Ironically, I haven't even seen that movie since. Like, I've watched other Dragon Ball films like multiple times, but I need to actually go rewatch Lord Slug personally. Um, my third and greatest memory of Dragon Ball Z was when I was in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I was upstairs in the hotel room, like 9, 10. My relatives were like yelling outside for me to come downstairs because I was making everyone late. I was way too invested in this little tiny TV, like a radio TV, that was playing Goku versus Frieza, like in Namek, while he was a Super Saiyan, and I just like couldn't look away. After that, I remember like collecting the cards, the games, the manga, which like essentially kicked off like my manga collecting in general. I remember I had intentions of getting Dragon Ball Z Volume 1, Bleach Volume 1, and Rurouni Kenshin Volume 1, but I ended up getting Dragon Ball Z Volume 11. So I had to like work my way in between. Um, Eventually, my grandma would help me out, and I'd be able to like earn money from my stepdad, and I'd go to the bookstore and get Volume 9 or go get Volume 12 and just kind of work my way around, like I said. Eventually getting all of like the Budokai games and Tenkaichi games, and we'd all play them through the neighborhood. I remember Mikey and Marcus had this like flat white wall in their basement, so we'd hook up like the PS2 and the projector and just play like Budokai Tenkaichi and just like throw down with the biggest characters. I didn't play much of the first Budokai game. I played like the second and the third, and then I didn't play much of the second Budokai Tenkaichi game. I played the first and third. Um, I also had, I think, the first one, Shin Budokai for the PSP. I like that a lot. I remember watching I think like the second Ice Age film in the theater, and like I had these shitty shorts, and my PSP kept falling out of my pocket and like slumming on the ground. Like, I'm surprised that shit even worked. It was like the bulky like white one that was super thick, like a brick. Um, After that, I got like this little portable DVD player, and I collected all of like the cheesy GT DVDs, like Annihilation, or whatever the fuck they used to call that shit. Uh, that was okay. Like, I didn't mind GT. The pacing was horrible, but like I definitely liked the feel of it more while it was like in action. I just like Kid Goku. He's cool. But like life kind of went on, as a little bit differently from now, where like we're just being kind of like fully consumed by Dragon Ball, or like kind of vice versa. Like, a lot of the collecting and a lot of the like good times I had were like very like far and few between, which sounds silly, but like it just didn't consume my life like kind of like how like anime does to a lot of people nowadays. Like, just from time to time, I'd go through my old stuff as a kid and find my old Dragon Ball media, and it was just cool to go to. You just spend just like a nice hour of your day just like reminiscing like how cool it was to like do that shit when you were a kid. I haven't really felt like that way. I haven't felt that way in a while. It's been a couple times with Super, but not too often, because we've had this like Dragon Ball boom for like 9 years. I definitely took the time to watch Super on its like original run, 2015, like after work all the time. But dude, that shit was painful. Some of it was fun, but like the poorly animated movie retellings were ridiculous. Especially Resurrection F. Like, that's like already a bad storyline that just became unwatchable on top of it. The Universe 6 tournament was all right. Like I think they could have actually put in Boo for more fights. Frost didn't have to be an evil Frieza. Like he could have been like a silly, strong Frieza that was like a good guy. I don't think Blue should have been ROF. It should have been like in the like it should have been first shown in the Universe 6 arc. And like Hit was obviously the best part of that arc. And I think everyone loves Hit. He could have been handled a lot better in their second like the second time Goku fights him. Like if you remember that whole episode actually looks okay, and then as soon as they start fighting each other, the animation drops to fucking nothing. And I'm just that was just how they like to do things back in the day. It was just awful. Like they would just give you like a shit mediocre episode, and then they give you 3 minutes of great animation plus 30 seconds of amazing animation. But they couldn't even do that the second time they fucking had Goku in a Hit fight. It just looked so terrible. That show had like a lot of really good ideas, but they just weren't executed very well in my opinion. I do remember the Turn of Power trailer. That was amazing. I remember how incredibly hype I was. Everyone was. I think everyone agrees it was a great time, having finally gotten to the universe or the Turn of Power after like the crazy, almost nonsensical Goku Blackheart we had. Personally, one of my favorite parts was when like the trailer was just going, and you just see Ribrianne and like Vegeta just boxing it out, and you're like, who is this fat lady fighting Vegeta? But it was cool because the animation was great. It looked amazing, and it should have just looked like that the entire time, and it just didn't. And the Tournament of Power ended up being like, alright. It wasn't amazing. Episodes 109 and 110 were amazing. Again, that's how the show should have looked the entire time with that level of writing and respect. Ending was cool with 17, and the Broly movie was obviously a treat. It's still a very, very good movie to go back on. I bet you when like in my later years, in like the next 10 years, if I go back and watch the Broly movie, I'll probably get some nostalgia, but we'll see. One thing I wanted more from Super was like more God lore, more angel lore, more lore about like the other universes. The manga gave us a bit more, which is nice, but Toyotaro's paneling is rather boring, in my opinion, on a side note. Now, as much as I wanted the Super's manga to be like adapted and animated, we got Daima. And when I saw that trailer, I about shed a tear because I was just hoping it was going to look that good all the way through, and it just about did. I binged the shit out of that as soon as it was on, like, all released on Hulu. I just watched all of it. I appreciated, like, from the get-go how aware they wrote the villains. Like, they knew they were being silly, turning them into kids again. The new scenes from Z look, in my opinion, I think I've said this three times already, how Super should have looked, or again, how episodes 109 and 110 looked from Super. It's just, that show needed like an animation proper structure, and it was just all over the place. But Daima definitely feels like a early Dragon Ball into like an RPG feel that starts to feel like Z, like just really, really awesome fights. Flows well, good pacing. Namekian lore, Demon Realm lore is interesting. The Tamagami fights I thought were handled like actually pretty uniquely and beautifully drawn. I liked Majin Ku and Majin Du. That was fun. They really weren't that terrible. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta wasn't quite the way I thought he was going to look, but I understand why they went with that design, the Ultimate Widow's Peak. And I'm happy they weren't kids the entire time. You know, it's for the most of the show, but the last little bit, you know, the last 4 or 5 episodes where it gets like crazy, they're all adults, and it's just fun, man. Like, I've got no problems with Daima. For the most part. The one thing I really don't like is like when they get like confronted by like the whatever mobsters or group or fucking the people with guns and lasers, and like they have to hide from them because they're just they're not familiar with that technology. That just should not happen. Like stuff like that shouldn't bother them. They're way too strong for stuff like that, in my opinion. I also did note Goma essentially had like a Pride Trooper outfit on. I think that was kind of definitely a nod there versus anything it being like, later lore wise. Like I don't think he's going to be like a Pride Trooper in the future or anything. I liked how everyone joined in at the fight at the end. That was super cool. Very fun, very exciting. Like I was hype about it. Oddly enough, personally, I'm not too much of a fan of the new Super Saiyan 4 design. It was cool, but I actually wish they just finished it all out with Super Saiyan 3 because, dude, when he went into Super Saiyan 3, I'm like, fucking here we go. And then he just, like, went further beyond Super Saiyan 3. Yeah, I just wish there was the final and finisher with Super Saiyan 3. But I'm genuinely excited for what comes next. Because if Daima's over, it's over, but I think you need to give it a try, Like, I've seen a lot of people, like, shit on the show for being 20 episodes of filler, but man, don't treat it like that. There's more than 20 episodes of Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z that are, like, not worth the watch that people act like is the stuff. So, I think that's pretty much all I got to say about Daima. I thought Daima was cool. So, yeah. Thank you for your time, and hopefully enjoy the rest of these silly fights here. Take it easy.
This may kill you! This may kill you! Just die! It seems I'm fighting for keeps!
It's over!